Hello, everyone, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reid, and welcome everyone to the review of Batman Cape Crusader Season 2, which is currently on Prime Video, all 10 episodes for your viewing pleasure. This animated series is produced by J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves. They got together to give us this latest animated adaptation of the Cape Crusader, and I enjoyed season one. I thought season one was, very interesting. It wasn't your standard Batman story. It had elements of Batman the Animated Series, which is oddly enough created by the same person who created Batman the Animated Series back in the 90s, and that is Bruce Timm. And he returns yet again for Batman the Great Crusader, and you can feel that. It felt like not so much a continuation, because like I said, this is a different storytelling element. Even though the animated series from the 90s and the early 2000s is noir, it didn't really go deep into the noir. It was still Saturday morning cartoon vibes, because that's what it was back then. Now, now with the Cape Crusader, they go there. This is very, I'm not going to say R, but it is a hard PG-13. And I mean, it is skirting the line a lot. The only thing missing, I would say, is blood. Other than that, there is killing, there is murder. There isn't any, vulgar language like that. The occasional four-letter word, but nothing, derogatory like that. But it really stretches the limit. Being as though it's on Prime Video, it can go there, and that's what I enjoyed about season one. And now there were a lot of negative people who didn't like it for various reasons, and that's with every property. We just saw it in the Odyssey. People were losing their minds because Lupita Nyong'o is Helen of Troy in the Odyssey, and oh no, that's not historically accurate. It's a fictional story. It's a fictional story, and then people were losing their minds, and then she wasn't in the movie for like 5 minutes, maybe. So I don't understand why people were losing their minds. But when you race swap, it's going to cause controversy. And Batman Cape Crusader definitely did that. Not only did it race swap a lot of characters, it gender swapped a lot of characters. The Penguin is a female in the first season, and I know that caught a lot of people off guard, but I like that adaptation. It still stayed true to the character. It didn't change the character, and that's what made it so impressive. How the animators and writers and the voice actors who performed these roles still kept the core. Still kept the core of the character, to whereas it is an abomination to what we know and love of these characters. And season 2 is no different. We still have those kind of switches to characters, and even putting spins on characters that I actually enjoy. You getting the typical rogues gallery, Harley Quinn, I think the Riddler, Scarecrow, who else? The Spectre. The Spectre had a real cool spin in season 2 that blew my mind. I was like, man, they're really going there with that. The Mad Hatter had a cool spin. Roxy Rocket. It was just smart storytelling, in my humble opinion. Returning as the voice of Bruce Wayne, Batman, in this series is Hamish Linklater, who I think a lot of people probably know him from Midnight Mass on Netflix. That series that came from Mike Flanagan a few years ago. I loved that series, but he played the priest, I believe, in that. He was also in another series that I not too long watched, and I enjoy Hamish, and he's been acting a while, but not a guy that you would picture as the voice of Batman. And everybody, when you think about voice actors in Batman, of course, everybody mind gravitates to the late Kevin Conroy, who was the definitive Batman. Probably the best portrayal of Batman, live action or animated, because that voice just carried so much weight. You know, his passing a few years back was such a heavy loss because he really encapsulated Batman. And when he switched over to Bruce Wayne, you felt the difference. You felt the two different personalities in the same person, but it was brilliant. And I will say, Hamish does a very good job. Very good job. Season 1 was a little spotty to me. It was a little spotty with his voice acting. I guess he was trying to find it, just like any other role for any other actor, whether it's live action or voiceover. You have to find that little spark in a role, to whereas you like, okay, I get it now. Hopefully you're lucky enough if you're in a series or, you know, during a lengthy film, you know, feature film shoot, you find that. And in season 2, he found it. It was completely there. Whereas it was spotty in the first season. Season 2, he was Batman. Actually, at moments, and I know this is going to come off as blasphemous, but at moments I felt the presence of Kevin Conroy. You know, his cadence, his growls, even though he wasn't growling, but you know, I'm trying to find the adjective to fit, but he really embodied this role, and you can tell he was comfortable in it. Every other voice actor here brought it. Brought it 100%. And I'm deeply impressed by the voice acting throughout this series. Like I said, there's 10 episodes that dropped on Prime Video on July the 31st, and I'm happy to say that I enjoyed every single episode. Every episode was just carefully written, acted, animated, beautiful storytelling. It is your throwback villain of the week format on this show. You know, there isn't a real hard storyline that carries on from episode 1 to 10. Just like season 1. Season 1 had the same format. But it's something about this second season that it elevated the game. It's rare that you find anything, whether it's a sequel to a movie or the second season to a show, whatever it is, that you get an improvement on a massive level like you got with Batman Caped Crusader. This was an awesome season, and it just felt, and I blazed through these 10 episodes. I thought it was going to take me the entire weekend, you know, watch one or two here, go off, do something, come back, watch maybe an episode here, an episode there, go back, you know, play around, go run to the store, go run here, you know, I thought I was going to do that. Nope. Sat down one sitting and watched all 10 episodes. It's only 30 minutes an episode, and so it is not 10 hours. So you'll be all right if you do it like that. I blazed through them because they were just that good. And I wanted to stop and go back and watch the one I just previously watched again because it was so good. But by the time you kind of on the fence to go back and the other one would start, and you're like, wait, this is interesting. So I'm gonna let this ride, and I just let it ride. One of the cool things, and they did this last season, but they only did it in the last episode. if memory serves. The Joker. The Joker makes a presence in that last episode, and it was more like a post-credit scene type appearance. Same thing here, but it's in every episode. At the end of every episode, it's like, oh, the Joker's still around. Yeah, you're all fighting the Riddler. Joker's still around. Yeah, Solomon Grande, or a version of Solomon Grande is around, but here's the Joker still hanging around, killing people. It's just building up to an inevitable showdown between these two, Batman and Joker. It is brilliant storytelling. You don't need to have the Joker running around and laughing and joking like he did in the animated series, where Mark Hamill just, once again, a perfect casting as the voice of the Joker in the animated series and the films that followed that. And I would say he didn't speak much on this show, but his presence alone was enough. You know he's a threat. You know he's the Joker, and you know that he is causing all type of havoc that is slowly building to a crescendo. I love it. My only knock about that particular story that's going on throughout the season, by the time you get to like episode 5 or 6, you're like, so nobody is hip to the fact that this this man is killing people in this matter. It is never mentioned. It's like, come on now. I know that the police department is corrupt and all that, but somebody got to know that this dude is killing these people. I mean, he killed a lot of people. A lot of people in a particular way that that it was the same person that is doing this. But I digress. I didn't care. I'm just nitpicking at this point, because aside from that, I really have zero complaints about Batman Caped Crusader season 2. Awesome show. I hope everybody is checking this out. If you never heard of it, if this is your first time hearing about a Batman Caped Crusader, please, I implore you, go back, watch season 1, and roll into season 2. It is such a joy to watch, especially if you were a fan of Batman the Animated Series back in the day, if you of a certain age like me. If you grew up on that show, you are definitely going to love this show. It's almost like, my best way to describe it, we were kids when we watched Batman the Animated Series. So it was fashioned for kids. And so we grew up, and Batman grew up too. And the show grew up. And this is that version. This is the grown-up version of the animated series. It is much more grittier, much more adult-themed stories that are going on, and very violent. Very, very violent. And I loved every minute of it. I give Batman Caped Crusader season 2, currently on Prime Video, a letter grade of an A. Yeah, it is perfect in my eyes. Perfect. I can't wait to go back and watch it again. I will watch this multiple times. Thank God for Prime Video. But that's my thoughts. I would like to know yours. Did you check out Batman the Caped Crusader season 2? Did you enjoy it? Did you get flashbacks to sitting down in Indian style in front of the TV watching Batman the Animated Series? Because that's the way I felt watching it. That's the way I felt watching this show. Subscribe to the kbradionetwork.com, the website, to whereas you can be alerted and notified of new episodes that are dropping on the site. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video while you're there. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of Batman Caped Crusader season 2. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.